Back out here on the boat again, and just a little bit of PB Blaster here on this section so I can lower the engine up or down. I already done this in the back, but now I need to do it for the front. So I'm just gonna get a couple of wrenches and start getting to work. But while I let PB Blaster do its work, I've been kind of scrubbing this down here with the rag. Just been kind of getting all the fiberglass dust off of here, wiping down some of the bad spots. But anyway, moving along. So now I realize I need to get a tripod for the phone, but basically the idea here of what I'm doing here is I'm adjusting these nuts. I'm going to do it one-handed here. How about that? It's just basically 101 mechanics. And what we do is we twist those up or down to adjust the footing up or down so the motor itself rides lower or higher depending on where the shaft's located. So as I'm pulling these out, I realize this nut here is somewhat seized on this thread, and it's a rubber footing under here, so I don't want to damage the rubber. So I think I'm gonna have to do this more carefully at the shop. And the old trick, just get a blowtorch, throw it on this nut here, and just throw some left turns on it, and hopefully that'll loosen free it up. The idea is to get it lower down here so I can move the entire mount down, and so I can adjust it to the shaft. But this thing's giving me a little hard. I mean, they've been sitting a while, so it's that's what happens in metal. So got to take it back to the shop. I don't have the stuff here with me. Throw a torch to this, like I said, and try to get this nut down further. I'll take the other one off here, do the same thing, rinse, lather, repeat, and then come back and try to get the motor lower. And she's looking a lot cleaner now. I'm glad I wiped it down. So the way you would level an engine with the shaft is basically the same way you would level a washer or a dryer. These are essentially the feet that extend on the bottom of the engine mounts, and in order to level that, I'll need to get these nuts to raise higher or lower. In this case, this is the front, so I need them to go lower. Yep, just like Grandpappy's Grandpappy taught us all is in science class here. When you heat a metal, it expands, and that's what's going to open up this nut here to be able to move freely up or down on the threads. Put a little bit of PB Blaster in there before, so that should be helpful. But basically, get some heat on there, it'll expand the nut, and that should be able to help free it up. The whole time I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, I could have rented a boat and sailed across the world and back and started provisioning for a second trip in the amount of time I've spent on this boat trying to just get it off the dock. But I guess that's part of the passion. Oh yes, good old-fashioned hand tools. Nothing beats it. But if somebody in the comments below could put whether or not there's a power tool version of this, I'd appreciate it. You're going to want to get in there and clean that up with a wire brush. Get all that, whatever was on there, off. Clean those threads up real good. It could be some thread lock on there, or just the rust itself. But it's always a good idea to just take a wire brush, your threads, clean them up, and they should last you a heck of a long time. So here we are, finished product. As you can see, I'm now able to freely move the nut up and down the threads. That's going to help me with aligning the motor to the shaft now. Took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but pretty simple project. All it was really just removing the feet and getting them back here to the shop. But as you can see, for comparison, got the second mount there. That kept the motor mount higher in the front than I needed it, so I wasn't able to really get the motor down low enough in the engine bay. So now I'm just going to clean them up here and get them ready for paint. But yeah, pretty straightforward project. I want to keep progress rolling forward on this thing, and anytime I get a chance to get down there is a benefit. So hope you guys like what you see. If you do, go ahead and smash that like button. Give me some comments, some thumbs up, or whatever it is that YouTube likes. Everything helps. Pulled the nuts off. As you can see, I pulled off all the paint with some acetone here because I'm going to go ahead and touch these up with some black paint now. But basically, the idea is we got to lower the engine down, and to do that we have to control how far the nuts go up and down threads on this this bolt. This is mainly just a piece of rubber booting that slides in here so that vibrations can be absorbed by the engine mount. It's very expensive, so if you can preserve these and use the originals, you're doing much better. So anyway, basically spent the day cleaning up the boat, cleaning up the engine, trying to get the fiberglass dust up, and start working on getting the boat back in working order, and needed to get this project done. So this is the leveling step. So this is going to take me a few weeks here to get the motor all leveled, bolted in, and then once we can do that, then we'll throw the outboard on there and get back to sailing. But basically wanted to get these touched up first here, brought them back at home. It was just a lot easier to do on the vise, as you can see, and just using the old blowtorch to heat up the nut so I can pull that off. But yep, trick works every time. You know, the trick on that is to, when you have those issues, you want to go a little bit forward, a little bit back each time, you know, slow increments of movement on the nut as you're trying to twist it left or right to tighten down and loosen. So what that does is it frees up the seized rust that's in there, and you can start breaking that apart. But little bits here, you know, little rocking back and forth until you get a good bite, and it breaks free. But yeah, blowtorch, small increments, and trying to undo that, then you shouldn't have any problems getting the nut off the bolt. But here we go, off the paint.